How's it going, everybody? My name is Olier Gonzalez. I'm here. I'm just recording is my process of how I'm building this particular website about the data from the Bureau of Statistics of Argentina. So I make this blog or this landing page as a way to not only put a test my tech skill with React, Next.js, as well as some concepts that are we're managing on the software development, whether it's on the UI as well as in the backend, as well as how we're going to deploy all of these applications in our servers or in any hosting providers. So we're gonna rely on Vercel to deploy this web app. And the idea here is that looking at what are the series of steps that I took as a way to now create this website. So first thing first, I already made a Word here where I outline a couple things that I would like to get. So where is the data that I want to get from? So for example here, from these are public data. Okay. This is public data that you can get that, and then you have to. I already download that, but this is data that is not formatted. So that was the first step to do this. In fact, I can actually define the step here, the methodology, methodology. One is data treatment. Okay, data treatment, which is using ChatGPT to give instructions about the shape of the data needed to show in a chart component, in a React chart component, which is a chart component that comes from Airbnb. Here, specifically this one. Specifically this one. From here. So to show areas here. This is most of the time used by stocks, but the thing here is that I want to now show is in this particular case, the average download internet bandwidth in Argentina from 2014 2013. So yeah, this is actually part of the initial process that I made here. Okay, and the data that come from which is a public data from the government using ChatGPT. The data here, we already made some data treatment. This is at yeah, this in fact I don't know if you're able to actually show that. No, I suspected you remove that. No problem. Yeah, but here let me see if I can do something like this. And then send that data over there and put it here. Okay, so here is now talking to ChatGPT and putting all of this data from the CSV. We can also provide a much more fine and control, but right now I use the free version, like the father of Iron Man say, I am limited by the technology of my time, but in my case, it's quite limited by the access that I have to uh, talk to better models in ChatGPT, whether it's ChatGPT 4. So right now, I'm just using is a ChatGPT 3.5, which is this is like talking like a gorilla. But if you are very precise of what you want, you can get the outcome that you need, and then refine then on the process. So here I say based on the following data, which is all of the data that I pass here. Um, Create two JSON with the following shape. One is given these particular instructions, where we will host is the country internet, the total data from the internet, the total average internet speed from Argentina, the rest of the country, and here we're going to generate is the data that is exclusively from Cava, which is the metropolitan area uh, in Buenos Aires. The fancy area that a lot of tourists can come here and enjoy the experience here while not getting killed or robbed. So that's Cava. And here it's actually generate this data. I also take a look if this actually is generating in the proper format. So I inspect that. This data is from the rest of the country, and this data is from Cava. But because this data is in megabits, we want that data is a megabyte. So that's exactly what it indicates. I tell here, hey, generate a new JSON with a new property called MB, which value will be M megabit divided by 8. And here is exactly what is now showing as the megabyte. So in 2014, it didn't even reach to 1 megabyte, but now here we are to 10 megabytes. Again, this is the rest of the country. And in the case of Cava, up to 2023, October 2023, we got roughly this 27.26 megabyte per second. It's important that distinction. So this was our data treatment, okay? And I really love that. I really love this. This might be quite the challenging part, especially because we need to actually match the data that we get from the CSV to something that this component can understand that, all right? So make that data treatment, plug in things here, and then we look now at using this beautiful landing page or page builder. Let me see. Yeah, looking at this page builder and how our website should look like. And let me see if I can show this. So where here I define is the couple layouts here. This is the second one. The second one was the design or the UI design. Okay. And here we use Versolite to generate that. Okay. We went also other solutions like Framer, but that actually doesn't export is the HTML, unlike Versolite, which as you design here, where you have is couple templates that you can go with. But if you can do this, now you can is look not only at the net or the page structures, but also at the code, which is something powerful. So this is how our mock data will look like. Argentina data, a glance at historical data. This is the image here, as well as starting with this internet bandwidth 2014 and 2024. Area charge with Kaba, okay, as well as the total country, and here we're gonna say is the rest of the country, okay, because it's more meaningful. Here we say Kaba, Buenos Aires, okay, which is good, and then coming soon, right? And finally is the footer as a way to say, hey, who made this? Hello. In some of my social medias and that kind of thing. Okay, so because now we going to do that using Next.js. Okay, our website. No, this is not. Our website now starting to look like this. Perhaps the font doesn't match right now. We're gonna do that. This is the internet bandwidth. Unlike here, I would like to make this section quite different, or no, it's okay. But here now we could integrate this component from Airbnb, which to me was actually pretty good, powerful, lovely, and show the relevant data from that, you know. And here is where you can see is the relevant data from Kaba, okay, at December 31, according to the Argentinian government, and then here with the rest of the country, the comparison. So yeah, there is a huge gap here, as you can see here in this map. There's a reasonable gap on the internet bandwidth. So yeah. So what I'm going to do here is to also now show is what is the development here, or how do I structure this website. So follow me along here on the code. There you got it. So here in the code we got is this. Because now we are using is Next. So Next has the following architecture here, where whatever you define inside of your app is going to be used a new feature from React 18 called React server components. So by default it treats all of the server as rendered by the server. It means that unlike the server side rendering, React server components sorry, is going to serve HTML, is going to render the HTML, is going to render the React component and serve that to the client without any JavaScript. So the whole point of this is to define all of your React server components, and only those components that need interactivity you're going to put is, for example, you're going to indicate to the framework, the Next, hey, this is something that I want you to do. I want you to download the interactivity, progressive enhancement. So to indicate that, we say use client, okay. So as a way to actually send interactivity to this component, all right. And the other components, no, you're not care about that. Since we don't have any routing mechanism or any fancy things like passing is dynamic data, dynamic routing, or grouping routes, that kind of thing, or defining API endpoints, because all of our data actually comes is yeah, so for example, grouping data here, there is no need to actually do that. And since all of our since our data right now comes is from this CSV that we make this data treatment, right now the government doesn't have any endpoints where we can consume. If we have that, that'll be great, because it saves us a couple hours on doing that data treatment and that kind of thing, but it doesn't matter. uh, Here we're using is Tailwind, which is something great. It also, all of this comes from Versalify. When we use that particular template, we configure Tailwind here. Again, all of this was the output generated by Versalify, the page builder. And this is some particularly nifty detail, especially when you're gonna work with Next, working with image, that you need to indicate where all of those images come from. Post CSS, which is this transpiler of CSS, or package JSONs, where we have is this default project, Next setup project. Okay. We also got is the TypeScript configurations. The only thing that changed here is here. Well, this is how we indicate to TypeScript, hey, I would like you to output this particularly ECMAScript, this particular version of the JavaScript language. If you find something like the DOM or the EXNext, please don't complain about it. We're gonna be strict when using TypeScript, which means that the TypeScript compiler is gonna complain if we don't follow the particular rules. We are using is the model way of doing models. If you find any GSX, please don't complain about it. Part of the React, as well as the path, where here we're indicating is that, hey, please, let's going to use this alias or this path as a way to indicate that we are in the root. So we don't have to put is absolute path that's going to change, or that might change in the future of your development. And we exclude, of course, Node.js model, and we include some TypeScript. We are including is the TypeScript files, the environment variables definitions, any TypeScript files, or TSX, which is component, React TypeScript component, as well as next type, which is something that they have in their own private folder. Okay. So here we are. That's what it is. Here we define is our components, for example, area charge. Okay. Here, this is the old data that we use as a way to test that. Here, because I think this is part of the interesting thing, especially when we go over to all of these components. So let's go to this component, the area charge. Here we're importing is React, use Memo and use callback, which is specific and advanced hooks, are quite useful. One of them is for persist, for save recomputations, or for catching, as well as use callback. Okay. The use callback is most likely used when it comes to avoid re-rendering components. Use Memo when you want to avoid recomputations. But again, both of them can be used quite the same. This now is the library that comes from Airbnb. Okay, this is the data that we're not using anymore because that's the mock data that they have there. Course Modern X is also comes from data from that particular package, as well as the VX from the grid and the scale. Some of other tooltips components are coming from VXX. Again, with the VXX, some of the events from that library, as well as the gradient, so we can look at this, something interesting. And a way of how you can now work with a couple functions to work with arrays that are from D3, this visual library that is very popular, as well as the time format. Okay, so here we define is what is the shape of this data. We can in fact get rid of this because is data or me or this optional data, which is a number as well. Okay. Here's when we define is now the data to the tooltip. Some convenient backgrounds and styles that we can make use. Utility functions to get now format to our data, as well as some accessors, most likely some functions that allow us to actually parse the data that we're going to show. So for example, the date, and for example, the current data, in this case, the megabytes per second. This is more likely to data that this component going to receive. What are the props that this component will receive? The area charge. And here is the bulk of our components. Here we're defining is what is the data that you are receiving, okay? If the width of this component is less than 10, do not render. This is more internal logic from that component, the Airbnb component. Some of boundaries as a way to say, hey, this is where you're going to show and display our chart, area chart, part of the scale here. We define this data as a stock because this is the data that comes from the component. We can rename that, but I think for our purpose that will be great, that work as expected. Here, as you can see, here as you can see, this is TypeScript being finicky about of our data. Sorry. But as you can see here, we're using is Mimo to now keep track of whatever this data change, okay, and then catch that result, because we're going to return is this data, the scalar linear as well as the scale time. Okay, so actually to show is the proper data on the tooltip. Jesus, sorry. And then the tooltip handler, which is, hey, now we're using is use callback as a way to, again, avoid to re-render this component over and over and over. So here we're going to detect is our event, that it can be a touch event from the mobile or from a desktop or laptop, okay? And when you detect that, any one of them, this is what we're gonna do. This is exactly all the particularly or all the specific logic that is being used as a way to show the tooltip and align that and populate that with the proper data. So that's quite interesting, by the way. That's totally interesting. So after that, Now it is time to render our uh, HTML or GSX. Here, this is to center the element in there. This is to talk to the SSV and as a way to say, hey, I want you to now show all of this component. All right. And this is more specific about what is going to show here, because it's not only display is the charge or the area charge, but also the tooltip, which is this logic here. And that's what actually shows on our screen, like this. So as we scroll down here, we can see is pretty compelling, all of this. So what we can do here, okay, because we can also take a look at how it's gonna look like on mobile. This is how it's gonna look like on mobile. And glance at historical data, okay, internet bandwidth, okay, and because now we are on the mobile, when we tap here, we can see here. All right, that's actually pretty great, pretty cool. What we can do here is to improve now how things are gonna look like, especially for yep, especially for these tooltips, for example, like 30. And then we say things like this. So hey, now show that. It looked quite better, but now it's going to overlapping here, so we don't want that happen. That actually is quite compelling here. Okay. This might be quite compelling here. Yeah, this might be quite compelling here. The problem with mobile is that it's suboptimal. This is a suboptimal experience. We can also change here is how the thing's gonna look like by saying, hey, please put this on top of that. All right, something like this. Yeah, something like this, so we don't have that kind of issue with that. That will look like much more better in terms of functionality. Or you can add some padding there, like so. For example, you say, hey, this is something that I would like to add some margin top of 10, for example. Yeah, I think this is gonna look like better, way much more better. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that would work. That'll work here, something like that. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That'll work. Okay, cool. Awesome. Now in mobile, you have that particular experience. Okay. Where when you navigate to that website, oh my God, what the hell is wrong with you? No, you're not gonna show that? For real? Hmm. That's why I come. Oh, of course, because I haven't run the server. Okay. Hmm. Let me throw an arrow here where it says on support align items. Do you mean align items? Okay. Align in which components? Hmm. Area charge 62. Area charge 62. Area charge 62. Oh, okay. Align items and justify content. Mm-hmm. What about now? Okay. What in the F happened here? Oh my God. That you got it. Well, you were crashing. Why did you crash? Exactly, in the rest of the country. And then comienza. Okay. So now that this actually works as expected, okay, the next section is actually what I'm gonna do here, which is adding at the under the page here is Versalify here. And you got this, have an idea, it can help you start with your project. Luckily for us, we got already the code for this, so we can now navigate to the container here, or to the footer here, and then copy this completely, which is something that I love. Okay, which is something that I love. Here I can say is the footer for that, footer.tsx, and then you got this, but because in our particular case we need to export this footer as a function for this kind of thing. We have to export that as a cons, and then return this entire JSX or the HTML, and then let's go to export default footer. So this is important to mention, to say, because this is what is going to use next behind the scene as a way to identify that, hey, this is a component. It follows conventions over configurations. So here we say, hey, I want you to show the footer for ourselves. Please be my guest. I don't want you to use this. Please be my guest. And when we go to our code, there you got it. Oh, Jesus. We can also here on the footer say this. Hey, DM me say hello to say hello. Exactly. So here is where we attach is this, and we say, hey, to the Twitter. Okay. That's right. I would like you to know the target here will be is blank. So open is a new tab for that. Say hello over Twitter. In Twitter, or in this case X, aka X. That's right. So you can see here, say hello in Twitter, aka X. Let me put this. AKA X. Exactly. It's actually also loading the image for that, which is great. And I don't know if you're actually loading those icons yet. You're not loading those icons. Because those icons come from Fab. Let me see if Tailwind actually comes from icons, or if we can integrate that. That I think this is Fun Awesome in Tailwind. Okay, Fun Awesome Tailwind utility. Here we need to install that. Okay. Tailwind Fun Awesome, Pro True, or require the version, Family Sharp, and custom, and the usage. Okay. Question. Does Tailwind actually does Tailwind actually have Tailwind icons here? Yeah, do you have any icon for that? Tailwind icons here? Okay, Tailwind icons here. Where is it? It seems that it's not able to export those icons here because unfortunately this come from here. To change icon here, can I? Okay, so well, what I can do here is to say, to change the layout a little bit here. When you say, hey, I want to show is this over here. Yep. Nope, not like that. I want to change that over here. Okay. What if I copy and paste here? Nope. Isn't that possible to pass that? Or to put it here? Exactly. I think I can leave like that, and that'll be better. Yep. In fact, that'll be the footer. Much better. Yep. This will be our footer. Okay. And then now when I take a look at the Argentina here, is this one. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. Things look like quite odd in terms of space and that kind of thing. Yeah, like I move this here. There you got it. Much better. All right. Yep. Cleaner. It is now way much more cleaner. Okay. Again with the footer. Let me take it now at how it's gonna look like here. That's awesome. Say hello to this. That's right. Let me change now this. Formerly no. Formerly Twitter. Okay. That's right. Let me actually add a margin top here. And there you go. Yep. X, formerly Twitter. Formerly formerly Twitter. And there you got it. Pretty straightforward. It's like this. Argentina in data. Okay. A glance at historical data. Internet bandwidth 2014. But this is megabyte per seconds, bro. Okay, now it's just refining something here, right? Like megabytes per second. Exactly. Megabytes seconds. Same for this, and there you got it. You can go to my Twitter. That's right. Powered by Versely, Next, React, and Versely. Yeah, powered by Versely, React, Next, and Versely. Yeah, that's all. That's all, bro. Yep. Oh. Here I can add a link to my LinkedIn if I want to. So, for example, I say something like, or to this completely. I can say something like this. I can add an anchor tag here. Yep, I can add an anchor tag that will lead then to or I can do something like this, which is adding some additional data. Yeah, adding some additional data, especially some link. Not like that, but yes, right below here. You can also duplicate this. Here's when you can say, hey, this is YouTube. It's like YouTube and LinkedIn. There you got it. I really love this. Yep. Pretty simple. You add this to one here. To our here. That's right. Will you able to render that without any problem? It's like now he's complaining about it. He's complaining about something. Oh, I get why he's complaining. And I get it. I get it. I get what. Yeah, I totally get it. It's like, it's like this must be his class name, my friend. This must be a class name, my friend. So any so anytime you find a class here, class, replace that with class name. Yeah. Yep, that'll be all. Cool. Now there should be no error here or complainings about it. Invalidate with CSS class order. Oh well, this is okay. If we take a look at this, it's not rendered that properly. What about now? There you got it. Okay. We're gonna put here the YouTube and some padding here. Let's say padding in G. Stu. What you're gonna say is margin right to YouTube and LinkedIn. That's right. Okay, YouTube here. Where's my YouTube? Julia here. Oh, funny, very funny. There you got it. Exactly. And then you got it. It's this. Here. Okay, and the other is LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn level. What in the F, man? LinkedIn. All right. What do you put it? The YouTube. And YouTube. Okay. And there you got it. Okay, so there you got it. You got YouTube, you got LinkedIn. And all right. Pretty much this is it. pretty much this is it. We can add the source here. Okay, we can add is the source here by saying, hey, this, what are you doing? Save change, please. We can add a new paragraph here and say data source exactly. Yep, yep, yeah, totally. Yeah, on the footer, we are going to add that right below here. Instead of putting that as, I want to make this as an anchor tag. An anchor tag that is going to take me to there. Okay, href. Exactly, there's a particular way of doing this with the class name, like so. And then the href here, which is here. Yeah, there you got it. Let me wrap this in a paragraph. Is this actually what it's supposed to? Exactly, but I want to have is this. No. The text here will be opacity here. Like so. I think you're adding in some margin completely. There you go. You're not compiling that properly. Okay. Is that for real? Okay. Mm. It's because I need to indicate that. Okay, cool, cool. Yep, that's it. That's it. Okay, so what's next? Next one. Uh, Dynamic data is already done. Then the next thing to do is to load the fonts and okay. All right. We got some issue here because we're not loading the proper font. However, when we export or when we import is the fonts here. Where is this? Just okay. My question is that how Tailwind knows that we are actually importing that Tailwind import font. You know how Tailwind actually know that hey, how to use custom font in Tailwinds. It's because you have to import that. Font family and user font. Font play fair day. But what if I want to put that okay, how old is this? 3 weeks ago. Oh my god. Custom font Tailwind's next GSS. Go to the desired font, which is in our case is just okay, which is just all right. Can we download that? All right, scroll into that, select that, then you say import, get font, or import that. Yeah, how to use now. Get embed code, exactly, import that from here, where here we're telling us our global CSS. I want you to import this font for us, and we should be able right now to load that font. No, we're not. Okay, no problem. Add the new property with font family. Here in this case is font family just exactly. So once you import that font, it is now time to say, hey, I want you to make use of this and extend on the font family. Add the new property within the font family property in the Tailwind. Use under extend using the CSS rule above. Font family play fair display. The default Tailwind font size as a fallback, use that here. So font family is this. Font play fair display, this one. What a single moment. Copy the text within the tail. Okay, I already indicate that to Google. Hey, this is the font that I want. Okay, I already paste that in my globals, and then it tells me that I need to add that font. Let me see if that actually what the configuration here is meant to. So let's go to read the documentation here about the font. Okay, where the heck is this? About the font, font style, no, font family, the font family, setting the font family, basic uses of font, but not setting the font family. Applying conditional font family. Okay, customize your theme to display that. So in my theme, which is on the tailwinds, we indicate that. We say font family is sans. Where now this must have is something called just. It import that just like so. Yeah, it import that like so. Font family here just. Okay, and when it comes to now use that, which is on our hero, we're supposed to add that. Dragging widest here. Oh, is our H1 actually make use of that font? That's a question. Is actually our H1 is making use of that font? Let's find out. As expected, it didn't apply that particular font. Okay. As expected, is not applying that particular font. Okay. So if we, for example, say font, or for some reason we say is font, oh my god, font sans to this question. Now you're applying. Okay, Argentina in data. A glance on historical data. Okay, this is another font here. But I think this is something that is applying to all of it. Okay, not only for Argentina in data, not only here is for the entire couple. Okay, so let's go with our page, and here we're gonna add is this particular class. When you say, hey, font sense, it's gonna apply to all of this completely. It's now properly applying this style. That was good. That was blazing fast, by the way. That was blazing fast, I must say. Yeah. Who made this? Or you can say something like this. You're gonna move this to here. Who made this? I think that's muff. I think that's more lovely. Yeah, I think that's way much lovely. So you take a look now at the nav bar here. What we're going to return is only this component. Oh my king cries. Exactly, but with this file called navbar.tsx. So yep, please replace all of that with that. ES link order. Okay. It's like, who made this? Smooth. Scroll here. Oh, okay. Scroll false. Okay, because now it's because link is a specific next year it's a specific wrapper around how you can do this. Okay. Okay, let's go to now Next.js here. You say here you can say scroll that. Scroll to the top of the page after navigation defaults to true. Okay. Makes a lot of sense with link. So here we're gonna do something like this. Okay. Here we're going to do something like this by saying, hey, I want you to navigate to that. If a child is a function component. So by adding is a link here. Okay, so by adding is a link tag here. Where you say, hey, let's go to import this from exactly this one. It's going to import is now the link component, but from next link. That's right. We're here. must have this particular class, and who made this content, and here we're gonna reference into the footer, by the way. Okay, and I want you now to, well, by taking a look at this, the scroll behavior, scroll to the top of the page after navigation. So if I add this, sorry. Now by navigating to this, it throws me an error. It says original factory is undefined. What? Exactly. We can add the scroll here, behavior. Another one is this, scroll behavior smooth, which I think that'll be more feasible for our case. So when we indicate, hey, if you want to do a scroll behavior, no, but this is for on the mouse. This is not from on our app globals. When we add this, for example, we say this scroll behavior. Who made this? So in the mobile aspect here, we take a look at the mobile aspect. You can navigate to that. Exactly. Okay, cool. So in fact, and also let me remove is this navbar things that you're gonna show is because we're not actually showing anything here. Or we can use this as a way to show ourselves, as a way to promote our links here. Now remove that. Remove that. Remove that. It's like remove that. Remove that. This is on the nav bar, and exactly, we don't want to show any things like that. That's right. Just a simple container here. And then you got it. That's all. Yep. That's all. This is it. 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 Pretty straightforward, direct, nothing too fancy. There you got it. Yep. All right. That was just to load the phone, and now it is time to deploy this on Vercel. How in the F do we deploy this static assets to Vercel, my friend? Okay. No, because this component is not adding any functionality here. It's just importing its data from that. Okay, now when it times to actually deploy this next deployment, this is when the interesting part came from. This is when the interesting part came from, bro. All right, so let's see how we can deploy this to Vercel.
Deployed. So TLDR, deploy this thing over. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, right now you can't hear this because this actually has some copyright. Now, what are we gonna do here? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. What are we gonna do here? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. You're now going to listen me from here. Well, I can hear is where I can deploy this and how to do that.
To be honest with you, just deploy it there. They built the framework. They built the infrastructure to support the framework. If you want everything just to work out of the box without anything, deploy there. If that's all you take from this deployment thing, that's all you need to know. And we can walk through deploying something. But just to walk through how that works, like I said, in the package.json, you have these commands, right? You have build and start. Let's run that so I can show you what that is. So if I run npm run build and npm run start, if you've never seen the double ampersand, at least in OS X and Linux, that just means run the thing on the left, and when that's done, run the thing on the right.
Exactly.
You do one ampersand or run them both in parallel. So I'm going to build this thing, and then I'm going to start this thing. And this is exactly what would happen in production. You're going to build it, and it's going to break because it doesn't like the fact that I have all these TypeScript errors and stuff. So that's okay, though. I can show you something really cool that you can do. Let me get rid of this spot thing. So what you can do to ignore a lot.
Okay, so now let's go into build, which is something that you're going to do on deployment. It's going to build and start. Okay. So follow me along here. Here, let's go into now a npm run build. So I want to build this, and when this is done, that's what it means, this double ampersand. I want now to run. I want to start the server. We are the proper directory. Yeah, we are. This is exactly. We're gonna build and then start. Creating an optimized production build. Go for it. Please be my guest. and they say, hey, in the F is this. Mm, mm, mm. Conversion of type undefined, string to type date. Maybe a mistake because neither type sufficiently overlaps with other. If this was intentional, convert the expression to unknown first. Type string is not compatible to type date, but that's what we're doing here. That's one of the reasons what we're doing here. Okay, here we are. Okay, TypeScript is not. TypeScript is complaining about that, but this is on the area chart. Which line is this? Let me go to the line. Well, you don't want me to anyway. 83, right? 83. We say this cannot conversion of type undefined or string to type date or string to string. Or string, right? That's right. So no problem with that about it. I think TypeScript will still complain about that, but some other stuff, yeah, of course, you're gonna say, hey, domain it's a type is not assignable to type input. Okay, so what we can do here is to say, hey, you know what, let's go to ignore here, say TypeScript ignore, please be my guest, as well as here, because we know what we're doing, please. In fact, through all of this, exactly, say, hey, no, check this. Okay. Need to disable some ESLint rules. Operator plus cannot be applied to type string, number, or number. Thing is funny because all of this comes from that. Let me do something here. Let me do something here because TypeScript is being finicky about that. It's like, and I know this is a lot of here. Which range 0 and max stocks. But I think this is on the next line. Yeah, I think this is on the next line, which is here. You know what? We know what we're doing, TypeScript. Chill. For this example, we know what we're doing. Okay, so for this example, we know what we're doing, TypeScript. Yep, So again, it's complaining about is the shape of the data, that kind of thing. Also here, is not assignable to type of data. Where the data here is with containing this shape. Ooh. Again, all of this type check is something important, invalid, and appreciated, but perhaps not in this context. The string type has no property here. String number of string is empty. This is go here in this line. Okay, makes sense because this is the hero. We're in fact are not applying that, which to me is quite puzzling. You're not doing that. So here what we can do is just to say is opacity. Okay, so opacity of 30 to see how it's gonna look like. Run def, okay. No, we need that more opacity here. What we're going to do is add a filter. Okay, because this particular style, what I want to do is to say filter drop shadow. Oh, as a way to provide a shadow here. Okay. Okay. Yep. 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 Okay. Cool. Now let's go to build this, and after you do that, all right, a new arrow here. So section data here. It says, hey, this is a stock, but I don't recognize this kind of data that you're passing me. And you expect to be this as it is, man. Hey, compiler, we know what we're doing here. We know what we're doing here. So I get it. You're trying to do your best job. But we know what we're doing here. So, okay. And after that, it actually generate a route. Not found. There you got it. Okay, cool. Cool. There you got it. Okay.
On the left, and when that's done, script and do that too, and it will ignore both of those. So hopefully that allows. So we'll try to build this again. If this builds, we'll and do that too, and it will ignore build errors, and then also shut up and do that too. And it will ignore both of those. So hopefully that allows us to build something. So we'll try to build this again. If this builds, we'll see like some of the, we'll see like how next, oh there it is, it did before I can say it. So of course I could just, it failed on start. Go next on one of these pages, that means it's a static page. Automatically rendered as static HTML, uses no initial props.
In my case, it's like static. Preferred as static content. First load 123 kilobyte, and then I found this.
But you have this lambda thing next to it. It's a server side and renders at runtime, as in when someone goes to it, it'll render. Looks like they forgot to update their outputs here, or maybe I forgot to. No, this is dim. This is no longer a thing. Get initial props, get server side props. It doesn't exist anymore. But let's just look at some of these pages. So you can see if I try to go to home, it has a circle next to it, which means it's static. Which means this is always going to be here. If someone tries to go to home and it's never going to hit the server. It's just going to show the cached version of this every single time.
Which is exactly what I want. I want you to show is the cache version.
Well, it's really smart because I don't have anything here. I don't have any props here. I'm not doing any. It knows that nothing's ever going to change about it.
And in my case, is the same because the root are not loading anything like that.
So because I'm not using it, it's like you're not doing anything. So there's no way this is dynamic. So we're just going to just keep this static. And they're right. I'm not doing a damn thing with this function. So
first load GS shared by all.
Okay, clearly that's literally a lambda function. So that's always going to be. This one is also dynamic. The reason this one's dynamic is because we have these spread params here, and we didn't use something like, because we didn't have time to talk about it, but I'm going to show you anyway. We didn't use, where's my repo? Oh, here we go. We didn't use something like this, generate static params. So if we were to use generate static params to get every single route that we would have used ahead of time, right, it had to be static. But because order can change, so. In to-dos, there is a component somewhere in that tree that is using hooks. So yes, there's some client-side stuff in there. That's a good one, yep. Which means every time you see chunk, this is client-side code. So generated for client-side.
Exactly, it's doing this code splitting here.
That's a good one. What about another observation? What are we doing in to-dos? What is?
You're generating is Webpack. Interesting. Other shares chunk.
Is that page rendered? What is it showing? Setting it to completed. Yes, that's client-side, exactly. So somewhere in that tree, we are using client-side hooks. That is true. We have to use that use transition hook, which is client-side. So that's in one of these files somewhere.
So in my case, I'm using is use Mimo and use callback. So yeah, this is kind of the theme, the client-side code.
From the database, and that has to be dynamic every time, right? So every time we go to the to-dos page, we want like every time I refresh this page and go to it. It's not started right now because I stopped it obviously, but I wanted to go to the database and get it every single time. And I'm not using React's built-in fetch. So it's not caching. I'm not manually using the cache function that they give you so you can cache it yourself. So it just has to get it every single time. So it's like, oh yeah, this isn't a static page, it's dynamic. Every time someone goes to /to-dos, we have to execute it on the server again and again and again. So that's why that's the case, along with these client-side JavaScripts, right? And like notice that this homepage doesn't have client-side JavaScript because it's a server function. Right? Any server function that doesn't have client-side JavaScript doesn't generate any chunks. And all these chunks are client-side JavaScript. And right here is just some 404 thing that we didn't make. It seems like it's created from and then middleware is just an F, which I believe is something very specific to middleware, and that's it. But yeah, you can kind of see how that works, and then you need it by putting it on GitHub first, and then heading over to Vercel. I have a lot of stuff here to make the project. I'm going to say, so we're going to run this in production mode, which honestly should do the same thing. I try to do is it's going to break with our middleware, and it's not going to hot reload if I try to save this. So this is what you would run in production. So to deploy this, the best way to deploy this, I believe, is just by putting it on GitHub first, and then heading over to Vercel.
Okay. So here we're gonna put this on a repo where now you're gonna follow me along here by saying, hey, let's go to our GitHub repo, this remote server that actually hosts our code and also can now deploy next go, which is great. Yep, I don't want to have any affiliation with them. That's right. And we got is this. Exactly, no problem. So hey, I want to create a new repo here, like so. new. And here with new, we say, hey, this will be is Argentina in data. We say R in data. Argentina in data. Okay. This is a public private. This is a public repo. That's right. This wants to connect to that repo. That's right. This is the README version here, and how you can start to do this. Learn more about this. And who made this? So Leah Gonzalez here. The documenting the creation process. Documenting the creating process, that's right. Okay, documenting the creation process, and here we're gonna add my YouTube video to that. And here is so documenting the creation process. Exactly. Documenting the creating process in YouTube. Exactly. So Argentina, it's like Argentina in data. That's right. And here we want us to now give a brief about this, historical data from government, historical data from government. Right now, with internet access, internet bandwidth, to do that's floor or historical data from government right now with internet bandwidth 2014 2024 to do that is historical data, but from exactly square, or in this case square meter dollar, square meter, square meter square meter. Yeah, square meter in rentals, square meter that is selling real estate here. Real estate square meter. Square meter real estate. Price per square meter. Exactly, it's the price per square meter to buy home. Price per square, yeah, price per square meter to rent home, to rent a home, to buy a home. That's right. Yep. Available. And then you got is to do. Internet bandwidth. Something like that. Exact historical data from government, available internet bandwidth, and then you got all of this. Yeah, getting started. With Next.js. Okay. Next.js deployment. All right. So you got a build, and then you say self-hosting or static export. Okay. You can say self-hosting, static HTML export. That's great. Features, email optimization, caching, automatic caching, But running a static export for that. Okay. So what if I want this to now client components, image optimization, but what if I want this to now is deploy, because it says deployment, static deployed. In production checklist, code splitting, prefetching, static rendering. I go with the static rendering here, and as well as streams. Okay. Now, but I'm more like this. During development, layouts, error handling. Composition pattern, dynamic function, data fetching and catching, streaming. We're not doing none of that fancy things. Security, metadata, and SEO, type safe. And before going to production, check out this. Before going to production, you can run build, which is something that we did, and catch any build error, and then run, and then to run next start to measure the performance of your application in production-like environment. And you got this. Analyzing bundles. Okay. You can also use import costs from marketplace, package phobia, bundle phobia, and bundle yes. And after deploy, you can, for versatile deployment, we recommend the following: analytic, speed insights, and logging. Okay, the only thing that I need is to just deploy that. As it is. Okay. I want not to follow is this one.
I have a lot of stuff here. I don't have to change anything because it's going to detect. It already detected that it was Next.js. You know, hopefully they know that they made it. I can adjust the commands, but I don't need to because there are other commands that I need. Any environment variables, these are those secrets. So remember you have that .env file. Your team has money and they give you a cloud database production, but we're not going to cover connected to like live. That it broke because, wait, no, I told you to ignore. Oh, wait, this repo I don't have ignore TypeScript on. So as you can see, it doesn't like that, right? So it's going to fail. So I guess I should, let me just add this one in. That way I don't have to worry about that. Let's just create a new one. So now let's go back to Vercel. And I think if you try to deploy it on the first time and it doesn't deploy, it doesn't create the project. So it might be good there, but it's like I already found the new one I wanted. Everything's good here. Let's add our database thing, even though I don't think that SQLite files will work in service environment. I can use like a Docker container to get a lot of the benefits that you would get from Vercel. A lot of the platforms do support a lot of these things like AWS, EC2, DigitalOcean, Droplets. You just need, there's like a Next.js, official Next.js Docker image that you can use to have that. There are other like not fully managed app providers like Vercel, but like kind of like a half step, like for instance, app platform on DigitalOcean. I've used that before. Heroku, I'm sure people have heard of Heroku. You got Railway and Render, both of which I use and both are really cool. You can deploy on those as well, and for the most part, you'll get most of the benefits. You can even deploy this thing on Netlify, which gives you pretty much all the benefits because they have like a pretty good partnership and things going there. So it really just depends on where you deploy to where you would get, but I don't see a reason why you would deploy a Next.js app anywhere other than Vercel, in my opinion, since they created it. So I would just do that. You probably get some of the best benefits. As far as like things like middleware working on your own self-hosted deployment, well, because you probably, unless you set up some edge compute yourself or some, so you would have, which caches case leads to Prisma. Okay, now it looks like Prisma doesn't like it. We can run. Questions on?
Oh, okay. So what I'm gonna do here now is after this, after we build our applications and we successfully can run that, is now to deploy that on our GitHub. Okay, which is GitHub. I already created the repo for that. I also edit our README, so deploy on Vercel here. There's no need to actually say this. You can get rid of this. To learn more, this was created with Next.js. Learn more about this. Documenting the creating process in YouTube, which is good. All right. And here we got Argentina in data, historical data from government available. What to do is this. Okay, that's quite interesting. That's great. All right. Yep. So now we're deciding to add this to our repo. Exactly. So here we're gonna say, hey, git init. Exactly, because we didn't have any of this. We're gonna say, yes, git init. We're initializing these projects. Okay. We're gonna add all of these folders right now to say things like this. Okay. First commit. That's right. So you say git status. There's nothing to commit. But I want now is to add that remote branch that I made. Okay. I want to add that remote branch that I made here, like so, and then we push those change to that remote branch. So as you can see here, we now, when we refresh this, we should be able to look at that plan as it is. There goes Alice, first commit, you got it, Argentina in data. This is it. Documenting the creation process in YouTube, something I'm going to show that later. And now if we go to Versal here, okay, and we continue with GitHub here. All right, and then we add a new project here with them. When we say project domain store, project domain store. Let me add a new project here from exactly from my repo, but I don't see that. Import a third party. Provide is the URL. It tells me. There you got it. It's a Argentina in data. That's right. Create a private Git repo. No, I don't need to. No, but I don't. You're almost no. I don't. Exactly, but I don't want to create a Git repo. In fact, this one is just to download it. Cloning, preparing Git repo. Create Git repo. To ensure you can easily update your project after deploying, a Git repository must be created. Oh, okay, every push to that Git repository will be deployed automatically. Why do I need that? Argentina in data. It's already used a different Git repo. Please enter a new one. That's the interesting thing. Is like I don't want to import third-party Git repository like this one. But you're telling me to create that. I already that. To ensure you can easily update your project after deploying, a Git repository must be created. Every push to that Git repository will be deployed automatically. I already have that. The question is that why you don't recognize that. Okay.
Thing, or maybe your team is, but I don't need to because they already know. Maybe our middleware. Let me go to my thing. I'm gonna type in intro here.
Okay. Let me go here and say Argentina. Configure your app to be discovered. Makes sense. Makes a ton of sense. Okay. Authentication here. Okay. Yeah, because right now what I'm doing is just to provide the two-factor authentication here code. So now GitHub can detect my newly created repo, which is exactly select repo, and that is Argentina in data. You save that. Now we sync, and he say, hey, okay, let's go to import this. Right. Now it is already configured. Since this already detect which framework we are using, whether it's ViewPress, you got a lot of them. You got a lot, even Astro, but Next.js. All of this will be left as it is. This is the root directory. Here, this is the command that is going to do the build command, the output, the install command, environment variables. You want to put any secret here, and then you deploy that. We hit deploy, and because we only are serving is a static content, using is this concept from React server components, we can see is what is building. It's cloning our repo. It's cloning the repo. Oh my god. It's cloning the repo. So it clones the repo. It prepares the Docker environment so we can now install the dependency necessary for our Node.js project. By looking at this as the next project, he already know all of the pre-configurations for us. We installing all of the dependency, then we run the npm build, and here we got our data here. Argentina in data. Holy moly. Because a screenshot here. Let me take a screenshot here of this because it's actually look lovely. Can we take a screenshot here? Exactly. Let me do this here. It's like, yeah, congratulations. What? It detect that? What? It already detect that? Oh, okay. It's already detecting that. That's pretty fucked up. That's pretty fucked up. But this is from FaceTime? I think it is. Okay. When now we click here, we should be able to see this. It's actually loading the proper data as it is. And the website look beautiful. Awesome. God damn it. Formula here, statistic here, YouTube and LinkedIn. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Completely. We already deployed that. Okay. We already deployed that. It actually looks as expected. And I really love that. Oh my god. Powered by Versally. Next Versal in React, Next.js, and Versal. Oh my god. Now we can do is this. Add that to here. And you say enter here the valid website here. Historical data. A glance, exactly. A glance at historical data. Oh my god, that was blazing fast. That was blazing fast. So with that, okay, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.